Here is Koutoubia having her second post-track ride. She had her first post-track ride 2 days ago. It was just like a really quick ride at the end of the day, and she was very fabulous. And today, the big change from her first ride to today, 2 days later, is the dramatic change in weather. The last couple of days, it's been 50 degrees. It's been glorious. And then overnight, some cold weather came in. And so when I did her first ride, I think it was 53 degrees. And now I'm riding her this morning. It was like 30 degrees and the wind was blowing 25 to 35 miles an hour. So just a drastic change in weather. And I have a couple of new horses that I need to do first rides on, but I shelved that because it is just unfair and it's not putting anyone in a position of success to sit on a horse for the first time when the weather has just changed so dramatically. So she is actually the one I rode today because I had already ridden her, so I knew she was trustworthy and I thought she would be able to handle this change in weather, and she did. She was fabulous. So this mare has a fantastic brain. So on this ride, her second post-track ride, we are introducing her to poles because I've had several people request that. So I do think that this is a little premature. You know, she's not as straight as I would like to have her, but she was very happy and willing to do the things. And actually, she improved so much as we went that it turned out being totally fine. And obviously, if we had started and it wasn't going well and it wasn't a confidence inspiring ride for her, we would have stopped. But actually, it was the opposite. I think she finished in such a great spot, and I think with in a really good headspace to go on and continue. So anyway, I'm really happy with her. She did a fantastic job of handling all the new questions that I asked of her and of doing it all in a pretty trying weather situation. So this is our warm up. And, you know, see, she has moments like this that are just incredible. I changed her out of a loose ring snaffle to this is the Herm Springer Duo D, so just a soft rubber straight bar. And I do like her in this bit. She's super light and soft in the hand. When I have her straight, she is like right there. She feels like butter. It's amazing. You'll see sometimes in the corners I lose the outside shoulder, and then that's of course when she comes a little bit above the contact. That's just totally normal. And as you get her more straightened on the aids, that will completely go away. And she'll always be in that fantastic frame that she gives me when I've got her shoulders straight between my legs. So I'm really thrilled with her. She did such a lovely right canter transition today. That was the first time I asked her to canter, so it's not like we'd been practicing a bunch of transitions and then I just left the last good one in the video. That was the first time I asked her to canter, and she just stepped right up into it, which was awesome because when I did her first post-track ride, she wanted to do a little bit of a run-on sentence into the canter, which today, seeing how good she was about that, it made me realize that she was just a little bit overwhelmed the first post-track ride, and that's just sort of why she was not comprehending the canter transition. She probably just had too much noise going on in her head to fully think it through because she was fabulous today. So anyway, here we are just starting our introduction to poles by walking over everything that we can. She was very good about it. Oops, sorry, excuse my phone. I actually really like what she did here at these flower boxes because she made a cute little jumping shape. It was really perfect and adorable. And you know, she did it without wanting to like land and scoot away. She just really did it nicely within her own balance. And she did it twice in a row. She's so cute. So after we walked over everything, we just start trotting around, and I just start with the really simple plain single poles and cavalettis. She was very good about all of this. She felt quite relaxed. And so, even though, of course, here, we're going over poles and things, and so I'm not going to expect her to be as round as she is when we're just flatting and practicing all that straightness and good stuff. But I actually really like her frame as we're just sort of going along on a looser rein because she's still nice and soft in her mouth. She's still connected with me. And I like how she just wants to naturally just poke her nose out a little bit. That's really correct for jumping. I would so much rather that they just softly be a little bit above the bit than below the bit. So I thought it was great. And that was really cute over that pile of poles. She sort of started to understand there, making the motion of having a little bit of jumping shape over the poles. So at this point in the ride, I'm not holding a stick. And after I do this like once or twice more, I actually decide to pick up a stick because, see, she's clearly wanting to make the jumping shape, but she's just not quite understanding to actually land and finish that canter step and canter away from the things. So then I picked up a stick so that I could just give her a little tap as we go over it, not in a punishing way at all, but just in a let me show you that I want you to land in the canter. And so there she did for a stride or two, and then she dropped out of it. So then to try and help explain this to her, I asked her to canter again, and she picked up the wrong lead, but it's totally irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to explain to her that actually her life will be so much easier if she just does that right there, just land and canter away. So that was a big light bulb moment for her. That was very good. And then that was totally fine that she didn't land cantering because she was very brave and good to go, but she ballooned over a little bit, so we landed a little bit of a heap on the other side. But then the next time we came, she was excellent. She jumped more across than straight up and landed in the canter, which was very good. And then I just sort of took the opportunity to see what would happen if we cantered a pole, and damn, she is she's going to be a lovely jumper. She obviously has all the right instincts. So last time to the flower boxes, that was very good. So at this point now it feels like it's clicked. She understands that when we go over something that's more than a single ground pole, it actually makes sense to just land cantering away. We hadn't walked over the coop yet, so I just wanted to take a beat and let her walk over that, for which she was excellent. And then that was very good. I love how she landed on a nice left leg canter. She's totally understanding this whole jumping motion thing. She's just super athletic and balanced. So for her, as soon as that clicked that she should land in the canter, it all just became very easy.